Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul? Welcome to At the Buzzer, to all of our buzzer beaters. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to At the Buzzer, our market recap. If this is your first time here, the goal of this segment is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we could take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. I'm Coach Jay. Been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
With Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share some of my experience, some knowledge, and hopefully help you become a better trader.
And Coach Paul is ready for that Bears game weekend. Nice hoodie.
Go Bears.
Nice hoodie.
It's going to be bear weather.
Yeah.
Are
you guys supposed to get snow?
It's going to be 0 to minus with 10 below wind chill. And believe me, off Lake Michigan, it's brutal.
Yeah.
I went to the cold, but I'm not a big believer in this bear weather.
Yeah.
The
players are from where they're from, right? They may play in Chicago right now, but they're from all over the country and probably not cold weather states.
Right.
But hey, anything for an advantage, anything that you could use for an advantage, we'll take it. Yeah,
well, it's just like trading. Prediction doesn't do anything. I wagered one of the largest bets I've ever waged, and I went to the game, paid a premium. We were playing San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
It's like 88. It was the same cold weather, coldest weather play, ever at Soldier Field. Joe Montana.
Oh.
Crushed. I mean, I think
tough guy to bet against.
4 touchdown passes, Bears got crushed. So
it's a tough guy to bet against.
No prediction here, but I will be cheering.
Good luck to the city of Chicago and the Bears this weekend. Coach Ray is going to be rooting against you. He's a Rams fan, so we'll see what happens there. But let's get into these markets. We really didn't have much as far as news goes. Besant just saying, I expect the Fed chair decision before Davos or upon return. So before or after. That's very specific. We'll skip that.
You're going to go up or down.
Yeah, right. We did have U.S. industrial production month over month coming at 0.4%. Forecast was 0.1%. And outside of that, no real news to talk about. The president was talking about who the Fed chair was going to be all throughout the day. Maybe cause some volatility in the markets, but fairly quiet news day here. Anything you got on the news, Coach Paul?
Yeah, he did say it wasn't going to be, what's his name, Smiley Hassett.
Yeah.
Said he does good TV. I
Yeah.
found that a curious headline, but it did create a little bit of a volatility. But that game is going to be played for a while before or after Davos.
Yeah, very specific there.
Yes. Other than that, on a Friday, 3-day weekend and with the background, anything can happen over the weekend. I think this market reflected it with some volatile trade.
Volatile trading for sure. Let's take a look at the quote board. We got 36 different markets we can trade with Topstep accounts. And today, to the downside, we had copper down 2.43%, silver down 3.13%, and platinum, our biggest percentage mover to the downside, down 3.38%. To the upside, we had corn up 1.13%, heating oil up 1.16%, and wheat futures, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 1.47% on the day. Damn, that's a nice move, wheat. What happened last night in the wheat market?
There was more buyers and sellers.
More buyers and sellers. Retracing the move from yesterday, it looks like. To talk about our big four, we got crude oil up 0.42%. The S&P down 0.08%. Took the long way. The gold market down 0.58%. And the NASDAQ down 0.09% on the day. It is a Friday, end of the week. I'm going to pull up. We're going to look through all the equities because they had really different weeks. But I'm going to pull up the NASDAQ to start here. We'll go one by one. What are you seeing here on the weekly in the NASDAQ, Coach Paul?
I'm seeing the definition of balance. Um, I, have we broken out of that pennant, or otherwise known as a Dorito? We get
Nope.
look at this. This reminds me of that gold move from the bottom. It just staying in it, but overall, it's not a bearish trade. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
So, being stocks, it's probably bullish, but we haven't broken out of it yet. Um, we'll see next week, but it's going nowhere.
Yeah, it's
That's
been
unusual for Nasdaq.
very unusual. And again, we've seen the Dow, the Russell, and the S&P all make new all-time highs. The NASDAQ has not made an all-time high since October. Very range bound. And if you're trading it, there's some really nice opportunity. I'm going to go through the other weeklies. What are we seeing here in the S&P? We made a new all-time high this week.
Yeah, it looks solid, onward and to the right.
Maybe breaking out of that pattern a little
Breaking
bit.
out of. Yep. And remember, this is a weekly. The volume, I'm a little surprised. Being January, I would expect bigger volume, and it's been average to below average volume for the week. But there's nothing bearish in that chart. I see.
Agreed. The Dow made new all-time highs this week as well. Completely different.
Yeah, very friendly.
Very friendly.
As we
And
talked,
yeah, go ahead.
the story's been about rotation.
Yes. And you cannot spell rotation without RT. Why?
Oh,
See what I did there?
oh boy.
The Russell, the strongest of them all. JD just said it in the chat. The Russell is the trending market right now. We say it all the time. Our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. And if you're looking for trending opportunities, we've been saying it all week. Trend is in the Russell. And if you look at these weekly charts and you can't see that, there may be a bias to just trading one market, which is okay. Right? Some people think, oh, well, I'm a NASDAQ trader. I need to just trade the NASDAQ. For me personally, when I see this, knowing that it doesn't fit my style. Now, somebody's style, this fits very well, and they're going to kill it trading these markets because you have the extremes set. Trade near those extremes, and you don't have to think about it. You set your risk reasonably, go extreme to extreme. And again, we're looking at weekly charts, but for me, identifying a trend, and I made money to the short side in the Russell today. But I can do that. I can do that in a trending market, right? Because what you also see in a trending market is that there are natural pullbacks that happen. I missed the long, was driving the show all week. Really fun experience to do that. I missed the long early, but in a trending market, for me, it's a little bit easier to see when these pullbacks are going to happen as opposed to a range bound market, right? So you got to know which market conditions fit your style the best and then trade that. There's no right or wrong answer. But I know for me, the Russell had a lot of my attention this week, and it was making all-time highs.
You could say that Russell is the new NASDAQ.
It kind of feels like that, but you can. We were talking about this in the green room, Coach Paul. I feel comfortable. I was trading at a time that I normally don't trade during the day, right after 2 p.m. Eastern time. I usually wait until power hour if I'm going to continue to trade, but short 5 Russell contracts and very comfortable in this trade. I don't know that I could do that in the NASDAQ with the volatility that we see, but the Russell to me is an easier market to trade the bigger contract. It's just not as volatile. It doesn't cost as much, and has been pretty clean. Now, 3 months from now, is this still going to be the case? We don't know. We don't know. But for right now, this is clearly where the opportunity is. Right? We didn't talk about the Russell this much last year because the NASDAQ and the S&P were the trending markets. But for right now, this is where it's at, and I'll be sad to see it go because we know the Russell. A lot of times it ends the year unchanged. Uh, so I'll be sad to see this volatility go, but it's pretty good right now, right? Go wherever the money is flowing. We just saw everybody run over to silver, right? Chasing volatility in scary place there in silver.
Yeah, there's no room for error in the silver.
No, there isn't. Oh, there is not. But anything you want to say, Coach Paul? We went through the weeklies. We could take a look at the shorter time frames in all of these as well, because the Nasdaq did have some pretty nice trades last night. Actually, let's go back to that because you did tell me that you traded this one. We'll take these lines off. We got Nasdaq last night's open.
Can you? I'll ask the chat. Why did I buy NASDAQ last night?
Why did Coach Paul get long the Nasdaq? And I would even add a question to that: where was his target? Let's see. Who knows it?
Anyone?
It's Friday.
Bueller?
Everybody might be half asleep or at the bar.
Yeah. Bueller?
Urgency. There you go, Aaron.
Urgency.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, there was urgency after yesterday's late break. And I mean, like we'd say, I'll take that trade every time I see it, whether it's NASDAQ, S&P, gold. I'm not trading silver. But that's the structure I look for. It was a nice little trade. One thing, yeah, you're right. The 200 was the target. So
It's a nice trade.
yeah, and it had continuation. Like I said, at one of these trades, you need to be out. It's by the open, probably even earlier. I still consider um, the night session and the day session is completely separate. I know.
Completely
So
different.
yeah, it was nice little move last night.
Completely different markets. And then we got the New York session open, where what is the higher time frame context of the Nasdaq been saying? This is a range bound market. So we see this really nice overnight move. And then right on the open, if you just trade regular trading hours, we've done this a couple times before. Take out the overnight, set the high on the open. Looking at a 3-minute. Took a little while
What
to
do we have again?
urgency to the
Still
downside.
urgency. Yeah, but it left at the fifth candle, fourth, fifth candle.
Yeah.
And we talked about this. Was it earlier in the week or last week? Measuring gap. There's with gap trading. So once we break out of that with VWAP, that's the target.
Yeah. Very similar trading day to yesterday. If you look at this price action, it almost looks the same. It just took a lot longer yesterday. Yesterday, we didn't see that move until the end of the day. Today, we got it a lot earlier. And it's the same thing. We filled the regular trading hour gap and got some continuation. Really nice sell there in the NASDAQ. I was watching some volume, Coach Paul, as you know I always do. And right on that open, the seller was the first to the table at like 25,880. And they just it was on the first, maybe the second 1-minute candle of the day. Really big seller came in there, about 600 contracts traded in a second, and that was the high of the day. Really nice move there in the NASDAQ. And then range bound. And again, I think keeping the higher time frame context in mind helps a lot with these trades. The NASDAQ hasn't found any interest above 26,000 in forever. So as we get up there, and we didn't even get that close, right? We didn't trade above 900s. Seeing that selling come in. Anything else you got on the NASDAQ, Coach Paul?
Let's at the half hour. What the thing is, and we're feeling it in the NASDAQ, and we saw it in the weeklies. Look at how much we're rotating around the 200.
Yep.
This is a directionless market.
For a
But
while now.
yeah, it's just it looks like being on a sailboat with no wind. It's just listless.
Yeah.
Um, with waves, if there is any, just splashing. So, versus Russell.
Courtney wants to know if you took that short this morning, Coach Paul, or were you happy with the overnight trade in the NASDAQ?
I did take one. I took a micro.
Nice.
Yeah, I took it. I did sell it, and I sold the S&P also, just small.
Nice. Coach Paul, I want to give you a shout out. When we started doing this 2 years ago, you wouldn't have taken that trade.
No, no. Well, one of the things I've been trading swing trades for a long
Yes.
time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's two different animals.
Right.
Like, remember, I would wait for the first half an hour, and I
Yeah.
want to throw it at you for the 3 minute.
Yeah.
Um, it just, with that, you can be wrong cheap, wrong early, wrong cheap, or you can get on a good trade.
Yeah.
I mean, I've completely turned that around.
That's a hell of a trade. Taking both
So
sides of beautiful moves there. Urgency on both sides. That's it.
yeah, my only regret is I didn't leverage it.
Should have bet
I
more,
think
right? Always.
I think I will stop. No, I'm just trying to be. Well, I'm being looking for continuity.
Yeah.
Kind of just working it. And now I'll leverage it.
100%.
One of the things I will to tell you this. One of the things is you have to build the equity.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to just do a one mini or two minis,
Right.
but in building an account, you can't choose which one is going to work like it did today.
Right. 100%.
And if you're wrong, you're really wrong because you don't have the capital. So I'll build it, but I'll take that trade. And by the way, yeah, I traded both sides.
Oh, killed it. Killed it. Very nice trade there. The S&P, take a look at that 30-minute. Same thing now. That 200 moving average is starting to flatten out, and we're not seeing that in actually the Dow is starting to look very much like it. And the Russell, the one that's running away. Get it while it lasts. Get this trend while it lasts. Why do I have an XFA and not a live account? Because I'm trading in an XFA. I've had a live account with Topstep before. I've lost that live account. Talked about that before. Right now if this account gets called up to a live account, great. That's not the focus for me right now. Focus is taking good trade setups. The risk team is going to choose when they want to move it to a live account. Right now, my job is to just continue to trade, take payouts when they're eligible from this account, go from there. And if and when it gets called up to a live account, I don't want any adjustments to my process to happen at all. So I'm even trying to scale up in some of the trades as the balance grows in this XFA, but I'm doing it with the $3,000 daily loss limit of a live account in mind, right? So that's my focus right now. All right. Russell, and another market that made all-time highs today, was kind of a back and forth price action. If we look at regular trading hours only, a lot of back and forth here. Volume never left that first 30-minute range. 2,700, big fat round number. It's tough up here. So the trade, if you guys saw the trade that I took later in the day, when we got on with Dakota and JD, it was exactly this, right? There's no volume trading up above. We already made the all-time high. We're getting into the end of the day. So we saw this in the NASDAQ yesterday. The later it gets in the day, especially on a Friday going into the weekend. Weekly candles don't normally end without a wick on both sides. Thank you, Coach Paul.
You're welcome.
Getting short up here for a fade back into VWAP. But why did I get into the trade? Because we hung out up here for a little while. Now I want to talk about something that we talked about a little while ago, and that's a trigger. So we saw a trigger of volume that happened. Oh, Coach Paul, the green's trying to get you.
Oh, you know why? I leaned back too far.
That's all right.
I was getting comfortable listening for you.
Yeah. Green Monster tried to take Coach Paul. But we had this spike of volume right here. See how this 3-minute candle is more volume than had traded in a little while? So this candle that brought us away from the high, traded us back under 2,700, is why I started to get in short the Russell. And then really the risk goes above new all-time highs, but the fact that we're holding this candle and then get a breakdown is why I was comfortable shorting this trade. I actually think I took it on a 1-minute trigger and not it. Yeah, there you go. It was this candle right here. So you see this 1-minute candle, how there's that spike of volume? That means something's trying to change. So my thought process with everything we just said, right, higher time frame context in mind, once we see that trigger come in, somebody's going to try to figure out how to short it up here. To me, that's not my job because we've been up here before and we didn't get any follow through. But once we get that spike of volume, there's higher potential for follow through because somebody just did something, right? And now I'm just trying to follow them to the downside.
That's funny. I traded Russell today.
Yeah.
I have and by the way, starting next week, we will do review with pivots.
Mhm.
The pivot, we were above it. At the initial break, I sold it on the breakout of the open. And it went down to the pivot. I did not cover. I mean, that original break, 8:30, the first half an hour, the pivot was 26.83. It was quick, and I didn't cover on time. I mean, whatever that must have been the news with the Fed share. But once we held that pivot, we went back to it,
Yeah.
and it was like elevator down, elevator up, and then we got over the daily VWAP, session VWAP, and I bought it there. There we go. Where it made new highs, and you are correct. I was long in this. I was looking for it to go to 27.10.
Yeah.
But I waited patiently till about till what was it, 2 o'clock Central Time. We tried to get back up, and we rallied again after a short break. And I got out, not at the highs, when we broke the half-hour low. A nice trade, but once again, it's Friday. It's late. We're at all-time highs, and I'm trying to sell the all-time high. That's part of trading, to understand not just your plan, but also the situation. So I didn't get out at the top. I hit a nice trade, but take that. We talk about that. It's a rare time. I mean, it's got to be less than. It's definitely less than 5%. And so, yeah, nice. I think I might have sold them.
Oh yeah.
I mean, right when you did.
Yeah. Same time.
I was just getting flat. So
yeah, nice trades, and hopefully continuing to be a nice market. I saw somebody say that all their profits from the week came from the Russell this week, which is awesome to hear. Traders, expanding their boundaries a little bit, trading different markets, and going where the opportunity is. Got a question here from Zane. Why would you actually want a live account versus an XFA? I'm going to post a link to the live account just program at Topstep. And again, it's not for everybody. I understand that, but the opportunity it provides. I already trade a personal live account, right? But why not have the live account at Topstep as well? Trade that well. There's performance bonuses. There's the potential to scale up position sizes and things like that. That maybe I might feel more comfortable taking that risk here than opposed to my own personal account. I think it's a great program. I obviously work with Topstep, so it would be good to be on stream with a live account as well. So there's a couple of reasons, but uh, again, for me, my mindset right now is just to trade. Right, live account XFA. I think it shows true trading. There was some conversation on social media this week about copy trading multiple live accounts. I love the idea of simulated trading, Coach Paul. I think for all of us, myself included, it provides an opportunity to learn about the markets, to experience the markets, and to get payouts if you trade these prop accounts really well. But I think that part of it is maybe doing a disservice to traders if they ultimately end up in the live markets for what's actually possible. People trading 10, 15 lots in big silver right now and getting their fills all at one price or at favorable prices compared to what they would do in a live account. And they move over to the live markets and like, what just happened? Right? Wait, how come my stop got filled 40? We saw that spread the other day in silver in that 1 minute contract, 1 minute candle. Why is my stop getting filled 40 points away? I'm copy trading multiple live accounts and they didn't all get the same fill. Copy trading sim accounts, the sim logic is really good, but it's not going to be the same as a live account. Copy trade live accounts, you need the real live liquidity to get those fills all at the same price. So I think if you're ever going to trade live accounts, and I think that should be the goal for most people, especially if we see people say, "Well, why would I trade a proper account? Why would I just take the money and go out to my own personal account?" I think at some point you need to train that way, right? If I'm a basketball player and I'm training against fifth graders, I'm going to be the man, Coach Paul, right?
I hope so.
And they play on 8-foot rims, so I'm dunking on people like it's everything. I'm looking like Wemby out there. But if I take that training and say, okay, now I can make the league, I'm in for a rude awakening. So the prop environment is amazing, but I think it should be used as a training ground for if you do want to trade in the live markets. Charles says, I want to be the man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you're 30 years old playing against fifth graders, there is something a little wrong with that, but
Yeah.
I
You
digress.
know what happens?
What's that?
You'll hurt yourself.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah. Be the yep, that's exactly what'll happen.
And then
Uh,
you're gonna have to tell everybody how'd you hurt yourself playing with fifth graders.
playing against fifth graders. Uh, winning is winning. Yeah, 100%. If you're winning in a sim account, I have no problem with it, right? I don't discredit people for trading simulated accounts. I'm doing it here. But that's my goal. It doesn't have to be everyone's. Let's take a
Here's
look.
another thing on that,
Mhm.
coach. That it's much more professional.
Yeah,
You're doing well, and you really got the talent. You're going to have access to bigger capital,
right.
and with bigger capital, you have bigger payouts.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
I mean, that's really where that's you want to have that professional attitude to be funded in a live account. You're a true trader.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting anything. I'm not putting anyone down. I mean, it's just you continue to do that. They'll give you more capital. They'll add to your winnings. So it's something to think about there.
Yeah. Let's take a look at gold here, and then we'll get some questions. I see some good questions in the chat. Let's take a look at gold. Kind of sloppy last night there in gold. What are we seeing here?
Well, we made the high. Was it on the yeah, on the opening. Um, but it was it was harsh.
Yeah,
But last night in the breakout, we had urgency going again. But look at what's happening with the white line.
it's curling up volume. And we talked about this yesterday. Are we going to see volume below that 200 moving average? And today's the first day. So that first attempt was tough.
Yep. And also, it's a Friday
Yeah,
coming into a weekend. But technically, it did. We closed the bump and then we rotated. I mean, it was tough.
yeah.
Um, I'm both said, but that hour of madness there.
80 points. 80 points in 15 minutes. Gold sold off. You do see, though, the high was still made on that Globex 30-minute candle opening. Why we frame it out. We even checked up into there. And
Yeah, I'm not trading it. It's just too
no,
crazy for me
yeah,
right now. I mean, you could have. I'm in that. This might look easy, but those are big money swings. Um, but technically, um, what did we have towards the bottom?
we
It was
got
on it.
it wasn't the highest volume on the 3-minute at least, but it was pretty close. And we've talked about this, right? It's all relative. We tried to get perfect. So here's a perfect J trade would be this highest volume. This highest volume being at that low. This is at least an A minus on the on the end of heavy volume, Coach Paul. I'd probably look at that one still. Uh,
Also, look at the half hour.
yeah,
And that tail. But I mean, this is not. What was the reason? We were making almost the highs of the day, and literally a half an hour later, we're 70 lower.
yeah.
Um, but for the let's look at the daily. Is that a 3-bar reversal?
Is it 1, 2, 3? Yeah. I think this would have to close below this low, right?
Okay, I don't. I am,
I think so. I think this would have to close below this low to be a confirmed 3-bar reversal.
but still, that's what a wick, and a vicious wick, and we've been seeing them.
Yeah,
Um, but still above that largest volume. We dipped into it, but we'll see. We talked about this earlier in the week. It's really rounding up here. It's losing its upside momentum. That doesn't necessarily mean the top is in, but there's definitely profit taking.
yep.
Um, so we'll see over the weekend.
Coach
I don't
Paul,
think anyone. Yes.
do you look at the gold silver ratio?
No, not specifically. I understand it, but we still a silver is just it has years of abuse that it needs to catch up on.
Yeah, I think Jack explained it pretty good. For a day trade, I don't know how much information you're getting out of that. Maybe on a higher time frame, on a swing trade or something like that. It's not something I pay attention to be honest. I've traded gold and silver this year so far. I have not looked at the gold or silver ratio. Not to say that that's not good information. It's just not something I use. It's like saying, hey, do you use the RSI? I don't. But if you can get information from it and it helps you make your day trades, continue to use it. But I have not, honestly, I haven't looked at it until today when Jack was looking at it on stream.
You know who that's important to? Miners
Mm,
and and hedge fund managers. Not even that, but miners.
yeah,
That's really important. And I'm not a miner. I'm a mate.
I'm gonna make sure. All
Yes.
right.
Right.
We had silver make new all-time highs this week as well, $93.70, and saw a nice pull-off today. We didn't get to $100. We did not get to $100 just yet, but the rally's far from over. Today just looked like a healthy pullback. Very similar to gold.
Very similar
Very similar to
highs
gold.
made on the opening. But while gold, maybe someone is trading that or
Yeah.
getting out of it because that gold spike, we didn't get that in silver where it retested at the highs.
No.
And there was an urgency. There was not urgency, but there was a big opening range.
Yeah, this candle's huge here. This is about $2. That first 30-minute candle. $2.15 about.
Hmm.
Just under $2. Pretty big opening range for the 30-minute. We talked about this yesterday. Even in the overnight session, maybe using smaller opening ranges just to reduce the risk on the trades. Here's the 3-minute Globex open. Here is the 3-minute Shanghai open. I shorted gold last night. I took this trade right here on a break of the Shanghai open when it failed to push higher, rejected off the VWAP. We rejected this 3-minute opening range here. I did take this short. And it was a quick trade, in, out. I'm not trying to hold on for the trend for the rest of the day. I'm not a silver investor. I don't think it's going to sell off forever. In this market, more than any right now, I'm looking at see profit, take profit trades because it is a pretty aggressive market. See, we got a question here from Alex. Can you guys please explain how to identify the urgency? Sorry if I miss it. I'm going to go back to the NASDAQ on a 30-minute. Coach Paul, you want to take this one or you want me to do it?
Yeah, frame out. So that is the opening half hour in the NASDAQ last night.
Mm-hmm.
So we wait for what we're going to declare, especially at night, the opening range is the first half an hour. And we anchor a VWAP to the opening range. All right. Now, urgency is we made the low in the first half an hour. We break the high in the second. All right. Close above that. And then the next candle, what happens? VWAP leaves the opening range in 3 candles. So also with that, look at VWAP. What is it doing? It's going up. It's going up not because of some magical movement. It's going up because VWAP in the equation measures the price as it relates to volume. It was being bought and it was urgent buyers. That is also that's what we've dubbed here at. I think we've tagged that name, haven't we?
Oh yeah, 100%. The urgency trade,
Okay.
and urgency is relative, right? We're talking about this, and like Coach Paul said, it's the candles, right? 1, 2, 3. These are 30-minute candles, so urgency is relative to the time frame that you're trading. But yeah, if I'm taking trades on the 30-minute, which could lead to maybe some bigger profit targets for your trades, it's relative to the time frame, right? So this is at least an hour of letting the market, an hour and a half of letting the market play out in the overnight session. And why are we using a 30-minute for the overnight session, Coach Paul?
It's a smaller volume,
Yep.
and it's And with that, we give it more time. We could look at the 3-minute.
Yeah, I want to go back to the Russell for a second because that trade that I took to the short side was somewhat of an urgency trade, right? Let's take a look here. Like I said, I took that on the 1 minute. I'm using this 1 minute candle and just I picked this candle because it was high volume. That was an anomaly candle, right? Think of it like an opening range trade, right? This is my event. The market starts from here on. I don't care what happened before. From this point on, what happens, right? I get this 1 minute candle. If I attach a VWAP the same way, in the second candle, price and volume are leaving that range. I'm super comfortable taking this trade, right? Because in this time frame that I'm looking at, even though it's on a 1 minute, in this time frame, there's active selling going on. Now I can zoom out and look at where higher time frame targets are and things like that, right? That's why VWAP was my target for this trade. But I noticed volume coming in, just like we would do on an opening range trade. Price and volume leave that range to the downside early, get in the trade. As close as possible to volume that you can.
And where's your stop?
For me, the stop on this one was a high of day, just because I thought the Russell did not have the potential to make another high a day. Really, if I start to see the market trade back above VWAP or above this opening range, I consider taking the trade off. But to start, my stop was high a day. Yeah, JD, risking just this range here, just little range. That's a 5R trade right there for sure. How do you activate your range drawing tool on Topstep X? Alt F is the fib tool. These are my settings. I just have 0, 0.5, and 1. Normally the fibs look like this. I just take all of them out. Can we name the key candle with anchored VWAP and box out range, the anchored box or something? Key anchored range. It needs a shorthand. Yeah. Let's brainstorm that. I like what you're thinking there, Courtney. We named a couple of things here, right? We need a Jay and Paul dictionary. Urgency's in it. The white line's in it. 200 moving averages in it for sure. What else do we got? Pivots are going to be in it. J trades are in it.
Let's do that.
Let's do it. All right.
So what are we going to name this one?
What's that?
What was the question?
Oh, the candle with an anchored VWAP. Candle with an anchored VWAP. So I'm going to brainstorm that this weekend. What are we going to call this? Yeah. I mean, shout out to Brian. That. Shout out to Brian Shannon. Right, he wrote the book on anchored VWAP. But yeah, we could.
All right. It's a must. If you don't have it in your library, it's a must-have.
100%. Great book. Great book. All right. Let's. We talked about the metals. We talked about equities. Crude oil didn't really do much today. You want to talk about crude or any other markets?
Yeah, let's watch crude. Let's look at that daily. We have it up there.
Crude rejected off the $60 level. It did do that.
Yeah. Now we had that big break last night or yesterday.
It's gonna. These candles will develop after a while. We had rollover, so you gotta have the data come in for those. But we'll take a look at. There you go. This big break yesterday.
Now, and then that was 2 days ago. Yesterday we had the long big break. So let's look at today's action from 5 o'clock or the Globex open. I think that it's Friday.
What's the name? Name it Barbara. Barbara's a nice day. I mean, that'd be really random, and only us here would know what the hell we're talking about, which could be kind of cool.
It's like a speakeasy,
right? It's like the Barber candle. It's like, what did he just say? All right,
the wax candle,
right?
That's good. So last night, we just meandered. and and usually we do in Asia. So, but that market was we were on a $3 break, and look at the volume. But big thing is, what do we not have? Urgency. Um, it's because VWAP stays within that first half an hour. Was sloppy. I did make an attempt. I bought it on the opening, first few minutes, and it didn't make a new low. Um, so I wasn't convinced, but I gave it a chance. Got stopped out in new lows. Um, and looking back, for, for for what I was looking for, came later
Yeah.
in the night, and I don't even believe there's jolly old England,
Have all the
London
fun.
Open, and what do they have? What is that called? Now,
Showing up everywhere. It's urgency across the board. Now, here's the key with looking for some of these urgency trades because they happen. Shout out to D, who says all the time of day is a level. We just framed out a level that we know crude oil has the potential to move often, and that is the London Open, 3 a.m. Eastern time. And I saw somebody ask about the Shanghai Open. That is 8 p.m. Eastern time right now. When we have daylight savings time, that's going to change. Right now, when we're looking at the metals, that's 8 p.m. Eastern time. This one here is 3 a.m. Eastern time for the London session open. It's a time of day level for crude oil where we start to see some volume pick up, and that is an urgency trade on the 30-minute.
yeah. So we could even go. Let's go before or 3 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
Let's go do a 3 or 5 minute opening range. Now there is that urgency. Well, it took 1, 2, 3, 4 to me. Yeah, it
Yeah.
broke out.
Broke out to the downside.
Uh, Now, I mean, it didn't work.
What? How's that
What?
possible?
But look at the risk. This is, and we were talking earlier in the show. I, when I first started with Coach Jay, I would wait for the first half an hour.
Yeah.
Now we got it later, but here on that sell, I had small risk.
Yep. Yeah, this was maybe 10 cents. Where would you take it? You want to take it on this one?
Yeah,
Or when VWAP
let's
breaks?
just say,
But it's the same price either way. It's a
yeah.
7,
Well,
8,
I'll
16
probably
cents.
take the first one because VWAP is
Tilted.
bending down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was the risk?
13 cents. Or if you want to go 2 ATRs, 14 cents. Yeah.
It's
$140 or $14 with a micro. That's a cheap trade.
now. What happened when I had this trade and I get new information? Is
At a psych level.
is that it really? Oh, is that
$59
that
either.
an even? What? Okay, let's go. Take that chart all the way to the right.
AWS World. I see your comments trading crude oil. Risked $12 with a micro, made $120 at midnight. Great trade. Great trade. But here you go, Coach Paul.
Yeah. What information did I get here? I'll leave that to the chat.
What are we seeing right here? Where if you were short, what did we get? Putting you all a little top quiz right here, but
Okay, I feel like it. Yeah, I
feel like
feel like a teacher.
a substitute teacher, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this?
Okay.
But no,
Well, I'll get above my. It's right above my head.
Yep. Oh yeah. Right.
Um, there we go.
There it is. Well,
We have heavy volume.
Bill, you got it. The GTFO candle. GTFO candle. Because what have we talked about before? High volume sometimes means continuation, but it's happening at a major level, $59. That's the highest volume 3-minute candle we've seen for the day. Could it continue? It could. But what do we also start to look at that at this point? Now, it wasn't exactly at the low, unless you're considering only the. Here's where it
Well,
gets tricky.
the
If I'm considering only the London session, that is the low.
yes, I made that.
Yeah.
Now, that's a really good I made that on the London session open.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
this is
That's
where
that's the open of my
everything
day.
else
Yeah.
is but take it away. But now I get a better trade. I'm out. As soon as we close above that, I don't have to wait for it to break out. I have new information.
Yeah.
And heck, guess what I could do?
What's that?
I could buy it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And yeah, Alex, you're seeing it now, right? So we get this high volume at that low. That turns out to be a high volume reversal. That's the J trade. And then we get my favorite J trades that make them A plus, volume and price leaving that range fairly early. It took a little while, took about 5 candles or so. But once that volume leaves the range, that's a beautiful trade. And we're talking about crude oil here, which doesn't get a lot of love. If you're awake during the London session, this is a full dollar trade up to $60. And maybe somebody could just say, yeah, you buy it at 59, take it off at 60. That's a price decision and it could work. But when the volume in the market agrees that day, to me, I think to Coach Paul as well, it starts to put the odds in your favor that the trade is going to work for that day. Yeah, it's a nice one.
Well, we hear this phrase, it's market generated information
Yeah,
versus a prediction, buy it at 59, sell it at 60. That's it's one off. This is what happened. Now remember, I was short, right? I was on the sell side,
right.
but new information comes in. That's and looking at this. We've been doing this for a long time now, 3 years. So
Yeah, yeah.
okay, now wow, okay. What I thought was going to happen, I took a small loss, a really small loss.
Hmm.
But now, if you remain objective, and this is the hard thing about being a trader, is staying in the moment. We're talking about being objective, letting as the market develops, because we get fragmented information.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, oh, new information. If I'm anchored to it having to go down, I could get stubborn and get my eyes ripped out, or I could just adjust. And then
Yeah.
I got solid information. Heavy selling that failed. So I,
Yeah. Nice.
you're gonna have to get up for London.
I have an alarm set. I have an alarm set because sometimes I take the dog out at that time, but I'm not in a clear mindset to trade most times. So we'll see what I have to do. I do want to get to some questions. We had some great questions in here. I know we're coming up on the hour here. We covered most of the markets, unless there's anything else, Coach Paul, you want to talk about. But we got a question from Pretty Girls Love 420. I'm scrolling back up in the chat right now. What are your thoughts on incorporating time for managing losing trades? For example, closing my trade after price has been trading in a range for 10 minutes. What's your opinion on time stops, Coach Paul?
I can see what you mean. Um, hmm. Really, be honest with you, I used to do that, but it can be very random. Um, that takes a lot less discipline. It means you're not being patient. And we talk about the principles of successful traders, predefining your risk. Now, in this example, got out because you got new information, not
Right.
because of time. It was time, price, and volume. So I would shy away from that, but that for me, um, because sometimes if you're in that and you predefined your risk and you don't get new information that goes against why you took the trade, then you're not practicing patience.
Yeah.
That's personally, because I've done that before, and then here's the other thing is your pace, your impatience can get you out of good trades.
For sure. For sure. And I agree like 95% with that. What I will say is that, and this is still going to be a practice in patience also. Let's say I assume that something is going to be an urgency trade and it's not there. And this is back to your point, Coach Paul, of getting new information, right? If I think something's going to have some continuation volume and it doesn't, that's new information that says, hey, this is not that trade setup, right? So what I will do is I may scratch a trade and then wait for a trigger candle like we saw in the Russell, right? I think what's important to do there is to not, for me at least, right? If I'm comfortable sitting in a trade as long as it's doing what I want it to do. If it's not doing what I want it to do, then I start to question whether or not I actually saw something or I'm hoping something happens, right? Especially being a momentum trader. But I'm not going to throw the trade idea out, right? I do have to, and I may get in at worst price, right? But if you're looking for me, if I'm looking for confirmation, which is that volume to come in, sometimes I will scratch a trade, but it's not just solely based on time, right? It's based on not getting the information that I'm looking for, right? In this flow trade to the downside in the Russell, if the flow flattened out, that's new information for this trade idea. Um, but yeah, you want to accept the risk, accept the risk for sure. All right, I think we got to most of the questions. We talked about crude oil.
Okay.
We talked about that one. Mm. Any other
We
questions you see,
didn't?
Coach Paul?
No. But it's Friday.
Yes, it is.
Thanks for being here. Um, have a good weekend. Review your trades for just not for a long time. And just to find if there is something that is hindering your improvement. Like we just talked. I didn't follow my trade. Was impatient, or I'm really not following the plan.
Right,
Just spend an hour going through it so you can understand what you need to work on. If you don't do that, you know what? You're really not holding yourself accountable.
for sure.
So have a great weekend. Plan, trade your plan your trade. We will see you Tuesday.
We will see
Go
you
Bears.
all Tuesday. Remember, Topstep TV is off on Monday. Um, Topstep TV is off on Monday. The markets are a half day. Enjoy the holiday. Enjoy the 3-day weekend. I know I won't be trading. Enjoy some time off. Go Bears. And enjoy your weekend, everybody. If you've got to review your trades, what you did over the week, take an hour or so, and then go have some fun. We will talk to you all on Tuesday. Bye.
All right. Bye.